Hey guys, so we continue on today with my astrology series, and today's video is Scorpio because Marissa V was the second person to leave a comment on my introductory video, so that is why we are doing Scorpio today. Now, Scorpio falls right in the middle of the fall season, so I decided that I was going to do some fall colors as part of this look. When the leaves start to change color, they turn gold and peachy, coral, orangey type colors and golden, and so I'm going to be incorporating all those types of colors into the look. But we're also going to do something unexpected with this. We're going to combine those colors with plums, because plum is also a color that I see a lot in the fall. As a matter of fact, I was looking at some of the clothes that were coming out for fall in the stores, and I saw tons of plums this year. So we're going to combine peaches and corals and coppers. I forgot to say copper. We're going to combine peaches, corals, coppers with plums, and that is the look that we're doing today. When I was talking yesterday about like sneak peeks about the different looks, I said that Cancer was going to be the warmest look, but this is a very warm look that we're doing today too. So just like I did yesterday, I already applied certain products beforehand, because if you watched yesterday's video, then you know that the camera cut off on me because I was filming for so long. So I guess, yeah, I have to pre-apply certain products ahead of time, otherwise we won't make it through the whole video. So I've already applied EOS Lip Balm, Benefit Ooh La Lift, which is a dark circle treatment product, Physicians Formula Argan Wear BB Cream, and then I put Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Concealer in the shade Light, and the BB Cream is light/medium. And then I did my brows, NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Taupe, and Ardell Pro Pomade. Is that the right word? Ardell Pro Pomade. Why does that not sound right to me? Well, anyways, you know what I'm talking about. It's a creamy brow product in blonde. Alright. Oh, and I powdered the BB cream and the concealers with MAC Studio Fix powder in NW20. Okay, so have all those on. Now, before we get started, I should just talk a little bit about Scorpio, because this is an astrology series. I am well versed in Scorpio people. My mom is a Scorpio, and I have worked with many Scorpio people over the years and gotten to know them very well. So I feel like I can speak truthfully about Scorpio people. On the positive side, Scorpio people are fearless. They are very brave, very fearless, would probably make Scorpio people would probably do well in the military, because, you know, they're fearless. They're just not afraid of anything or anybody. Scorpio people, you will never be bored around Scorpio people. They are very dramatic people. They're a water sign, so water people are very emotional. And when you combine being an emotional person with being fearless, it's a force to be reckoned with. As a matter of fact, if you think about the symbol for Scorpio, it's the scorpion. So what does that tell you? If they sting you, they can kill you. So, yeah, Scorpion people are not somebody that you ever want to cross, because if you... Scorpio people, when they love someone, they love them with every fiber of their being. You know, if you are, like I said, my mom is a Scorpio, and I have always known my whole life that my mom just, you know, she and I are best friends, always have been, always will be. She loves me with every fiber of her being, and it's a nice situation because she is my mom and I'm her daughter, but in relationships or even friendships, if you are someone who is close to a Scorpio and you betray them or cross them in some way, you don't want to do that. Because like the scorpion symbol that represents them, they will sting you. And yeah, you just don't want to do that because they will retaliate. So word to the wise there. Okay, so yeah, we are going to do peaches, corals, just a very warm look. And I'm going to start with, what I'm going to do for a blush today is actually something from my NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette, because I'm going to have so many peaches, coppers, corals going on. I didn't want to do that shade also for a blush because I think it would have been too much. And I just did a plum blush yesterday, so I didn't want to do a plum blush the very next day. So I'm just going to take this warm shade from my NYX Pro palette, contour and highlight. Bottom row, first shade, we're going to use that for a blush. You can use bronzers and contour products for blushes if you want to. And I'm going to use the Sephora Pro Flawless Airbrush in number 56 to apply it, because this is my new blush brush. It used to be my foundation brush, but now it's my blush brush. I like this size. So I'm just going to dip my brush into that product, and we're just going to stipple that onto my cheeks and blend it out. Yeah, you can use bronzers and contours as a blush if you want to add warmth to a look, or you know, tie the warmth into the rest of what you're doing for warmth. So just kind of stippling that on and then blending it in. Well, I think I put too much on the brush. So now I'm going to have to balance it out by adding more to this other cheek. Alright, so that's what we're doing for blush. I haven't been doing highlighters lately. I don't know, I just don't feel like it. There is one look we're going to do though in this series where I'm going to use a highlighter as a blush. So yeah. Alright, so now we're going to start on the eyes, and I said I wasn't going to buy any more products, especially for the series, but I bought 2 more things yesterday, and I'm going to show you one of them right now. This is a classic. I think I mentioned recently that I've been getting nostalgic about products that I used to have that I don't have anymore, that I had to get rid of because of their age. So I used to have this years ago. This is MAC Rubenesque Paint Pot. It is a gorgeous golden peach color, and we are going to use this for our eyeshadow base today because, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, MAC Paint Pots make the best eyeshadow base, I think. That's just my opinion. And I said I was going to do a video all about eyeshadow primers, and just in case I forget or don't do that video for whatever reason, I did just want to mention that the reason why I like these so much is because they don't alter the color of what you put over them. Most eyeshadow primers, when you put eyeshadows on over it, it intensifies it. And sometimes that can be good if you're working with an eyeshadow that has no pigmentation. But if you use good quality eyeshadows, you don't necessarily want it to get darker or deeper, because it's going to change the whole look. So that's why I like these, because when you use paint pots, what you see is what you get, and anything you put over top of it is not going to change in color. So just wanted to throw that out there because I was like experimenting one day doing swatches with different eyeshadow primers on my hand, and when I put the very same shadow over all the swatches, they all changed color except for the one that I used a paint pot with. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. Alright, so we're going to use this as an eyeshadow base, and I'm using this MAC 242 shader brush to apply it. So yeah, this is just a gorgeous golden peach color. And I thought, you know, this is the perfect time of year to pick this up because this just screams fall to me. And since Scorpio lies smack dab in the middle of fall, Scorpio is the last week of October and the first 3 weeks of November. And Halloween falls during Scorpio. And you know, when you think of Halloween and fall, you think of pumpkins and corn stalks, and so, you know, you just keep seeing orange and gold all over the place during the fall season. So I thought, yeah, I gotta repurchase Rubenesque. And the other thing that I picked up yesterday, I'll be showing you in another video, along with those 2 products that I had on in the introductory video. Those will be in another one. So if I have something that's new that I just bought, you know, I'll point it out when I get to that particular video. Sometimes, have you ever noticed that sometimes when you put on, whether it's an eyeshadow base or a powder eyeshadow, that when you get right down near the lash line, it's almost like it's hard to get product in that section. And you want to make sure that you do, because if you don't, you're going to have that white line right there that's going to stand out like crazy. But yeah, right along the lash line there, sometimes I have trouble getting the product to stick to my eyelids. Alright, so I got MAC Rubenesque Paint Pot on as a colored base. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to do my crease color next and then put the lid shade on last. And for a crease shade, I said we were going to incorporate plums in this look today. My crease shade is going to be MAC Shadowy Lady, which is a really, really dark, deep plum. And since I made out so good yesterday with that Rite Aid brush for my crease work, I'm going to use it again today. This is just a Rite Aid Renewal eye brush. So I'm going to put some of that. I haven't used Shadowy Lady in a long time, so I don't really remember how pigmented it is. I could have gone with brown, but that would have been too obvious. I wanted to do something a little more complex. And I did use brown as a crease color in some of the videos that you'll be seeing. So I didn't want to, you know, keep using a brown crease over and over again. So I figured I would go with something different with this one. I tried to mix it up when I came up with these looks and do a wide variety of things. Use different colors, different combinations. And like I mentioned in the introductory video, there are a few products that I used in 2 videos. Just because, I don't know, they just seem to work so well with what I was going for. There's one crease shade that's going to be used in 2 videos. There's one lid shade that's going to be used in 2 videos. Sometimes it's just because I really, really like that product. Oh, this is working great. Yeah, I haven't used this shadow in a long time, and it's a good one. It's just a matte, really, really deep, dark plum or purple. It's just a coincidence that I did plum colors in yesterday's video too. But you guys are the ones that picked the order of the video, so I wouldn't have done 2 videos in a row with plum, you know, if I was choosing the order, but I thought it would be really fun to let you guys pick. And it did not take long at all for all the different signs to appear in the comment section. The only one that never showed up was Cancer, so I guess I don't have any Cancer people that watch my videos. Which is funny because my husband is a Cancer, so I would have thought that there would be at least one person that watches that's a Cancer. There probably was, but they probably just didn't bother to comment because they saw they were going to be last on the list. But I thought it was interesting to see what signs you guys were. It was fun to see how it was going to turn out and how many people were going to be, like, you know, large groupings of the same signs and whatnot. All right, is that even? That looks pretty even. All right, now I'm gonna take my Zoeva pencil brush that my friend June sent me, and I'm gonna put a little bit of that Shadowy Lady along the lower lash line. I'm going to start from the outside corner. Oh, and by the way, with these looks, I wrote it all down on paper and came up with different, you know, colors and textures and stuff that I wanted to use. But these are all like looks that I've never done before. They're all things that I just came up with and thought would be interesting, so I'm seeing the end result at the same time as you. With the exception of that first one that I did, which was, oh, I almost said what the sign was of that one I had on in the introductory video. That's the only one that I will have seen ahead of time. The rest of this is all just things that I thought might work, and I won't really know if they worked or not until I do them. Alright, so yeah, that Shadowy Lady worked out. I've used this as a crease color, obviously, in the past, but it's been so long I really didn't remember if it was going to be a hard or an easy shadow to work with. But it's a matte shadow, and like I was saying yesterday, MAC's matte shadows they're very dry and difficult to blend, but I didn't have too many problems with it. Didn't have any problems with it, actually. Alright, here's the part that I'm not sure how this is going to look when I'm done. On my lids, I'm going to use a copper. I'm going to use Wet n Wild single eyeshadow in Penny. I think they have discontinued this, so if you wanted to try out this look and you can't get Penny, or if you don't have Penny, I believe that MAC Coppering is a similar color. So this is just a copper eyeshadow that is shimmery and it has like a golden tone to it. So it's a golden copper shimmery color. All right, and I'm gonna use my MAC 239 brush, MAC 239 shader brush, and I'm gonna put that on the lids. Now, because I put the Shadowy Lady in the crease area and I'm putting this on the lids, that's more or less gonna be covering the Rubenesque, but what the Rubenesque will do is it will make these colors that I'm putting on top more complex, and it will just sort of bring them more to life when you use a colored base like that. All right, here we go. So I'm just putting some of that penny on my lids. Ooh, yeah, that's really making that Rubenesque pop. Or the other way around, depending on how you look at it. Yeah, those two shadows, the Rubenesque and the penny, they do end up going together well. The Rubenesque is lighter, so it's more like a peach, and the penny is a little bit deeper, so it's more like a copper, but they're basically the same types of shades. And I wasn't really sure if I was going to like the purple or plum with it, but I do. It's an unusual combination, but I do like it. Thank goodness. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I had put this look together on paper and then put it on and went, ooh, that doesn't look good. Fortunately, that didn't turn out. You know, you got to take chances when you're putting looks together, because you just, you can come across weird combinations that end up working. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Okay, and I'm going to use that Clinique quickliner for Eyes Intense in Black Honey on my tight line. Yesterday I said waterline, but I meant to say tight line. Tight line can also be referred to as your upper waterline, so I wasn't totally wrong by saying that, but usually I would say tight line just to specify which one I'm talking about. And this is just to keep that whole coral, not coral, copper and peach tied into the plum and purple. I didn't want to use too many different colors, because there is definitely a golden tone along with the peach and copper. So we've got gold, plum, and peach or copper. So I didn't want to use black or brown liner because I didn't want to throw too many colors into the mix. Okay, next is mascara, CoverGirl SuperSizer. I had bought a backup of the Wet n Wild Mega Lash mascara when I had first bought a tube of that and just absolutely fell in love with it. I got a backup, but then I started getting like these deluxe samples from Sephora or Ulta or something. I guess it was Sephora. And then this one came out and I had to try that, and so I never did get around to using the backup of my Wet n Wild Mega Lash, but when I finish with this one and the other one that I've been alternating it with, which is the Maybelline Colossal Chaotic, when those two are gone, or yeah, I think I got these both at about the same time. When those two are gone, I'm probably going to open up that Wet n Wild one, which will be interesting because I'll be interested to see how it compares to these, because it's been a while now since I used that. I think it was actually similar to this one, but I don't really remember now. Okay, got the mascara on. Now for a lip product, I said I was going to use things at all different price points. So on my lips, I'm going to use LA Colors Chunky Lip Pencil in Coral Fun. And this was from Dollar Tree. It's no longer available, but you know, anytime you go into Dollar Tree, you're going to find a lot of LA Colors products, and for the most part, I think they're pretty great, especially for $1. So I'll never forget the day that I went into Dollar Tree and found this. They actually had this big, huge display, this big cardboard display on an end cap or something. And I was like, oh, this is new. So I picked up this one and I think 2 other shades. And I was like, oh my God, this is so good for $1. I'm not going to use a lip pencil because the beauty of these jumbo lip product pencil things is you don't need a lip liner with these. So this is why I didn't want to use a peach or a coral blush. It would have been too much. Well, I don't know how I feel about the coral lips with the peach eyes. That probably... That wasn't... And my camera just shut off, just like it did yesterday, but this time I heard it shut off. So yeah, the end result is I don't like the coral lip with the peach eyes. But you know, like I said, I didn't know how this was going to turn out. And I couldn't possibly do all these looks in advance and test them all out. There just wouldn't be any time unless I had planned this series like months in advance, which, you know, not many people do. So yeah, I would say, you know, probably don't wear screaming bright orange nail polish and a coral shirt and coral lips with this eye. I think the eye, though, just by itself, I like the way it turned out, but it doesn't really go with the rest of what's going on. So yeah. If you wanted to do this eye look, I would say you could go with a plum lip if you found the right shade of plum, or you could do a nude lip. Or you could probably do a peach lip too, and it probably wouldn't be too much if you didn't also do a peach blush. So yeah, just judge the look on the eyes only and don't do a coral lip. Alright, well that's Scorpio, you guys, and I'll see you next time. We've got a long weekend coming up, Labor Day weekend, so I don't know if I'll get a chance to film any videos this weekend, but I'll try. That's all I can say, is I will try to get at least one more in the series done over the weekend. Bye.